We're inside the Church of St. Patrick's Well, and there is just one tomb in here, and Davy will tell us about it, and it dates from the 1600s.
There's just one tomb here, and there's a man by the name of Nicholas Hyde from Clonmel buried here. He died in 1622. He was a wealthy man in Clonmel who died in 1622 and left his money to have a church built in Clonmel, which his family did. The church was called White's Chapel. It was in the centre of the town, near the old town walls. It's non-existent now, but they built it in 1623, and even though this is a tomb, this was used as an altar. That was part of the altar in that church in Clonmel. Until that church fell down in 1805. So his family or his relatives wanted the tomb moved out here. So it was moved out here in 1805, and it has been here since.
200 years later.
It's been here 211 years.
Yeah. And the stones of the back wall, you tell us, are not belong to this church,
no.
or a previous church. Those stones are piled up along there.
That's correct, yes. Even though this church was built in the early 15th century, there was a church here previous to this, dating back to the 12th century. So when restoration was being carried out here on the well in 1969, they were putting walls around the pool out there. They found some old stones with Celtic carvings or Celtic motifs on them. So the archaeologists have confirmed that they're from the previous church. Well, they wouldn't have come from any place else anyway, so they've been confirmed as coming from the previous church. They're all Celtic.
And of course they're beautifully carved and intricately carved.
There's even some there, very like you have going into New Grange. There's two stones there with squares on them.
Which is known as, I think, Rome, right?
That's right.
And of course the lancet windows here, the stone lancet, the common lancet windows have survived.
That's right, very small windows in the church. With the tanks and poles by the British on daylight, so daylight robbery, that's where the term daylight robbery comes from.
But these walls in this church are about 3 feet thick or a metre thick.
They're more than every 4 foot.
For such a small church, you said how big the church was?
17 by 42 long by 17 wide.
Feet, right, which is not huge, but those walls would hold up anything, but this would have been patched.
That's right, yes. This would have patched.
Yeah.
Church.
And it didn't survive, we'll say, after all these years. So we go out, we'll say, to the bridge outside, what they call the bridge. And this stone here, Dave, this does not belong to this church.
Well, we're told by archaeologists that this is a 12th century carving. It's called a chevron, and chevrons were used in places of worship throughout the country. I think there are 73 of them listed in this country. I think the nearest one might be the Rock of Cashel, but these are a chevron. It's a V-shaped Celtic designs.
It's a sad reflection that we have to put in these have cement them in for safekeeping or to disappear. Which brings us up to the lintel, if you call it, the lintel arch. It's very, very old as well. It looks to be sandstone.
We're told that the lintel of the arch, as you say, it came from the previous church. It's a 12th century. It's different to the rest, whereas the stone in the church is all limestone. This is a sandstone arch, so we're told that this came from the previous 12th century church here.
Which is in pretty good condition considering how old it is. We're standing at the edge of St. Patrick's Well, where the water is eventually leaving and heading for Marrafield Lake. But it passes through these 5 eyes of a bridge, and there's a reason for that, as Davy will tell us.
Well,
of this design.
The reason for the design on the bridge was you have 5 eyes on this bridge, and if you look at the coat of arms of Clonmel, the coat of arms incorporates a logo with 5 eyes. So this is a very ancient logo in Clonmel. I think it goes back to the 12th century, and that's the reason for it.
We're at St. Patrick's Well proper, the original well, but there's an unusual outflow from it, and the shape and carved stones. Davy will tell us these stones are most unusual.
Yeah, those stones are very unusual. They're called drip stones, but so far historians and archaeologists have failed to put a date on them. They're very ancient, that's all they say. I think that's good the description. There's another stone like this, very similar to this, at St. Bridget's Well in Kildare. And again, similar historians and archaeologists have failed to put a date on that either, you know.
And every well has some healing properties. In St. Patrick's Well here in Clonmel, the healing properties of this pertain to what?
Well, all spring water has healing properties, but the particular qualities or the particular ailments that this will heal are skin diseases and stomach disorders.
And just a few moments ago we were down and there was a very athletic woman, and she was there and she had her feet in the water. She stayed there for probably 10 minutes. The last day I was down here, Davy was sitting between two women and they all had their feet in the water. So it's not an unusual thing to see people coming down here and partaking of these waters.
Well, there's a constant flow of athletes coming down here to have muscles and ailments and injuries. And
last Thursday was the annual mass that was here, and what is the feast day of? Well, I shouldn't ask that. The 17th of March is the feast day of Patrick, but
one time here the big day was 17th of March, but obviously weather was very unpredictable in March. So we just picked the last Thursday in June every year for a mass. So with the last 20 years that's been away.
So it's St. Patrick's Well, it's the last Thursday in June.
It's the patron day, if you like.
The patron day, and Mass is said here. And Mass is said here in the open, or in this place this year it was said in the church. And it's still visited by a lot of people.
You'd be surprised the amount of people that come here every year, particularly people from abroad. Huge amount of people.
And Davy pointed out earlier on, there's little stone crosses on the walls around that are the stations of the cross.
The 14 stations are there on the perimeter wall. We have some lovely trees around here. Everything here is natural. We have natural rock and natural limestone and lovely trees, oak and beech and ash and birch.
You don't know how many steps are down to this cliff?
63.
63, because I'm going to say it's a fair drop down, Every question I've asked Davy so far, he hasn't shirked, he's answered them all. I even asked him how many steps are in the background, and he tells me that there are 63 steps down. We're a good distance under the Marlafields, the road that connects Marlafield and the Clonmel Care Road. That's what the road is above. We're a good depth underneath. And at the bottom of the steps, as you come in, there's a statue of St. Patrick, Dave even knows when that statue was put up.
That statue was erected there in 1956.
But-
There was a committee formed at that time, St. Patrick's Day Society, to revamp the well. Because it was going downhill at the time.
Oh, there is a committee.
There is a committee, yes. There is a committee here, a full-time committee, yes.
Yeah.
It's called the St. Patrick's Day
Yeah.
Society.
And they're funded by public subscription.
They're funded by...
I'd say-
Yeah,
that's what I say, by public subscription. They don't get any grants from the government.
It's completely voluntary.
Yeah, yeah.
Public.
And I have to take my hat off to you, or everybody has, for the job that you do here, because every time I've come down here, it's always been in pristine condition. Compared to you, it's a labour of love.
That's
Yeah.